Hey, everybody. We'll be getting started in just a moment. We're excited that you are either catching us on the replay or joining us live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rooted and Rising, the preview.
The preview. Well, with that said, I think,
Turn on our mics.
yeah. Let's turn on the mics. Good call. Thank you. Let's go for it. Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
It's your Grounded and Global team here, Belinda and Shelby, and we are super excited to have you join us either on the replay or live today.
Yes, indeed. We're really excited about Rooted and Rising. If you only have 5 minutes to watch this video, we want to remind you that early bird pricing ends on July 31st. That's in about 2 weeks. The deposit is $1,800 and the link is below in our description.
Yeah, I think it's really important, Shelby, to emphasize here that what we are asking folks to do this month is simply make your deposit. That the trip has a payment plan schedule over the course of several months, and so we know that pocketbooks are tight right now,
Right.
but we also know that you need this trip and you need rest. So I just wanted to really make sure that folks understand that what we're looking for is for you to commit through that deposit this month.
Exactly. We want to give everyone a chance to plan, get your finances right, but also to make that step towards making an investment in yourself right now by just focusing on the deposit and then giving yourself enough time to make sure everything is in order to make the trip in January.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, in today's conversation, and we're going to keep it brief, team. We're only going to keep you for a few minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about why we think this trip is important, what lessons we've learned in life that made us want to create something like this. We're also going to talk a bit about the logistics side and the money, because that's important. And then we'll also answer some questions that we know we've received. If you guys happen to have any questions that you want to put into the chat, you're welcome to do so. If you're listening on replay, we will have contact information in the notes, and so you can also reach out to us with questions.
Yes.
So with that, Shelby, you want to start with what's your why? Why is something like this important?
Why is something like this important? Well, I think I'll link it to a personal story that I just posted on LinkedIn in case you didn't see it. About a year ago, I didn't know what my next was going to be. I was laid off after a 26-year career as a diplomat, and I was already beginning to think about what did I want my legacy to be in my previous role, but also what was my next? How could I take my personal performance to the next level? How could I invest in myself? But also, like, I knew that there was more that I wanted to give. I knew that there were things that I was passionate about, and so how could I transform myself to figure out what that next thing was going to be? And I think I was also reflecting on other points in my executive career where I wish I had taken more time to invest in myself, to invest in my personal growth. I feel like that bug hit me late in my career. It was actually you who pushed me to apply for a fellowship that was really a game changer for me, and thinking about how I wanted to lead, how I wanted to show up in spaces, but also how to lean into my talents and my strengths to continue performing at a certain level, while also thinking about the personal side of me, because we are multidimensional. It's difficult to compartmentalize who you are and say this is Shelby at home and this is Shelby in the office without the two intersecting. And so that fellowship, combined with what happened to me last year, all of that culminated in a real awareness for me of the importance of self-investment, and the fact that you never really stop growing and learning about yourself, and how important it is to take a step back wherever you are in your professional journey to really think about where you are, where you want to go, what is it that you need to do to pour into you in order to be able to pour into others.
Yeah, no, all of that resonates with me. I think that a lot of that makes sense. And for me, it is that I came to a realization a few years ago in a conversation I was having with someone that I was just always on the grind.
Yeah.
I'm just like, got to work harder, got to do more, got to go here, got to go there. And I never stopped to take a breath. And so in this case, I was spending the day with like a very senior diplomat, like a special envoy, and we were waiting for a meeting. And while we were having lunch, he was talking about, he studied here and he took time off to do that and blah, 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 blah. And he said to me, well, how often do you take time off? Like a sabbatical? And I was like, never. Like,
What's
that's
that?
an option. Like, I don't know what that is. And he's like, oh yeah, like every 7 years I try to like, take time and invest in myself. And then every 3 years I do blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I just had never considered that.
Wow.
And so whether it's a short, retreat or a longer trip or investing in my education or things like that, I've just begun to see in my life people who are high achieving take time to make that investment, and they don't wait until things fall apart to decide that they need to invest in themselves. So for me, that's really like my why. And what I'm hoping that you all get from this as well is that, I don't know, some of the best, most impactful things that have happened to me have happened when I've completely shifted environments.
Yeah.
I've left my normal and I've stepped out and done something different.
Mm-hmm. I think you said something really critical there about shifting the environment. And that's really what this trip is all about. When we were thinking about Rooted and Rising, yes, we've done retreats here domestically, and we'll continue to do that. But we thought that it was time to do something different, do something on a completely different level, like up level ourselves to a certain extent, and really think about how can we pull people out of their normal and do something different and really push ourselves and others to be in a different environment and to really have a deeper connection holistically with themselves and with other people who are like-minded.
Exactly. And the other piece I would add to that is that this is about bringing together people who are going to inspire you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
People who are also looking for that restart, to jumpstart, and looking at how they're going to, do something different and being inspired by them and getting ideas from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's who we're hoping to bring together. Now, moving in to money and logistics.
Yes, ma'am.
The important pieces here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go to the link that's in the chat, and we'll put it back in there in a few minutes. If you guys don't see it, it'll also be in the notes. You'll go to our travel website that will share more details about the itinerary. It will also offer you 2 different packages. One is currently advertised as $5,700. That's covering your double occupancy room. That's breakfast every day. That's several meals outside of breakfast throughout the trip. It depends on the day, whether we're having a formal dinner or a happy hour here or a lunch there. But there are many things that are covered. You'll get more details as we get closer to the trip. And it includes your ground transportation, your transfer to and from the airport, and essentially, if you've been on any of our other retreats, you know that you're going to be taken care of.
That's right.
That we don't have step in, right?
Okay.
You're not going to be struggling.
Not at all.
We like to be diplomatique.
We like to be luxurious. We like to bring excellence to everything that we do. So yeah, we're not going to half step.
So that number, though, that's a big number. And so, as we said at the beginning, we are looking for everybody who's interested to commit just their deposit this month. So we understand how many people we are planning for, and we can begin to make final arrangements, particularly with the hotel, about, we want to make sure you have the best views, the best rooms, like all of those things. So that deposit is $1,800, and then you'll have monthly payments from there.
Right, exactly. And some of you may be thinking, can I come alone? Can I bring my mom? Can I bring my aunt? Can I bring my sister? Yes to all of the above. We're expecting a mix of participants in terms of people who just only want to focus on them, but then others who think, okay, well, I think me and my mom would get something out out of this, or me and my bestie, or whomever is in your circle who you think would be rejuvenated and restored like you from an experience like this. Everyone is welcome. The other thing we want to ensure that people are aware of is that our partner, the collaborator who's helping us with all of the logistics, Black Women Abroad, they've done this before. This is not their first rodeo. It might be our first time doing this on an international level, but the company that we're partnering with, they do this all the time. This is not their first.
No, and they do an amazing job. So, as I said, like we choose excellence,
Right.
and we only partner with people who bring excellence. So we feel very confident about how they are handling the details and how you're going to be taken care of during the trip. I also want to highlight for those folks who live in Southern Africa, particularly residents of South Africa itself, we are also offering day passes. We will be posting more information about the details of what that day will include, but obviously there'll be the leadership retreat elements as well as, an opportunity to interact with our participants who will be flying in from other parts of the world. And we'll obviously do that in an amazing venue within Cape Town. But we want to just highlight that for you, that we do know that there are many people who are interested who live in South Africa, and we see you, and we are going to have the details soon about that day pass for you.
Yeah, we're really excited about the enthusiasm that we have received several inquiries from people who live on the continent, who reside in South Africa, as Belinda said. We are actively working on a program that will give you what you need and what you're desiring from us. We bring intentionality to everything that we're doing. So just ask for your patience as we figure out what that day pass looks like. But we're confident that we can put together a quality program and product that will meet your expectations.
And for our participants who will be coming from outside of South Africa, once you pay your deposit, you'll be brought into an ecosystem where we're going to be having Zoom meetings where we talk about logistics. Do you need certain vaccinations or your yellow card, or what airlines may have the most efficient routes from where you are to Cape Town? What is it really going to look like when you land at the airport and we pick you up and take you to the hotel? Just all the little details. What health travel insurance, how can you find the best health travel insurance, or, how can you best secure your trip through travel insurance and things like that. So we are going to continue to have those kinds of conversations directly with participants. Once we have your deposit, we'll bring you into those conversations, those Zooms and newsletter updates and things like that.
Exactly. And if you're like us, you're going to want to know, like, what are my fits? What do I need to pack? Like, what's the weather going to be like? Because I want to look fly. I want to be ready for, everything that South Africa has to offer. And so we will make sure that that's included in the future Zooms that we will do in advance of the trip.
I was going to say, even we've talked about things like making sure at the hotel we have really great hair braiders available, because you got to get your hair done.
Absolutely.
Get it done once you're there.
Right. Right.
We're getting done every day.
Priority. Absolutely. We know what the needs are.
We know what's critical, and the hotel we're staying at has a spa. We got you.
Okay.
We know.
I know I'm going to need a massage or a facial
every day
or something.
Every day. We need wine. We need massages. We need our hair done. We're
all the things.
Clear.
All the things.
So, we're gonna have fun. Are we gonna dig deep? Are we gonna think? Are we going to make important connections about the trip? But are we gonna have fun? Yes, absolutely. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Another kind of shifting into questions that we've received from different people. So the logistics side of, like, what airline should I take? This and that. We got you. We'll have those Zooms once we have our guest list together. I've had some questions about pandemic concerns, right? Mm-hmm. There are concerns about, say, the Ebola crisis in the DRC. And what I would offer there is that, obviously the the distance is such and the travel complications are such that is very localized right now to you know uh, Eastern DRC,
Right.
Uganda, Burundi. Um, but also, I think that I wouldn't be speaking out of turn to say that South Africa has one of the best public health surveillance systems in the world and some amazing healthcare facilities. So we are not worried about that particular crisis, but I do feel confident saying that should something change or should things be happening on the ground that we need to be aware of, we know that we're in a space that is really well prepared to handle a medical emergency or things like that.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, again, the company that we're partnering with, um, they've done these things before. I'm not going to say that they've had, fortunately, I'm not aware of any sort of health scares that they've had to deal with in the past, but they have built in those contingencies and logistics in case something goes awry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We've also had some questions about like what should you be budgeting for beyond that package price, right? So the package does not include your airfare to South Africa. So if you're coming from outside of South Africa, that is something to incorporate. If you're within South Africa, obviously your day pass does not include your travel to Cape Town. And again, there will be opportunities for you to, let's say explore downtown Cape Town on your own for an afternoon. So if you were to have lunch or something while you were doing that, that type of thing you would want to go ahead and budget for. And it sounds like meals are very reasonable there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to pay like, $80 for, a sandwich, right? It's going to be, very affordable pricing for little meals like that here and there when you're exploring on your own or having snacks outside of our covered meal times. I would also offer that the if you're going to buy souvenirs and things like that, like we are going to go to wine country. I plan on
Listen,
wine.
I'm already thinking about, do I need a special suitcase
Like,
just
can you
for
ship this?
that? Right.
I might need a FedEx like budget,
right?
Like, so obviously if you take advantage of the braider that comes to the hotel, like that's going to be on you. So little things like that are adding on to your experience in very personalized ways that I would budget for. And again, once we have our core group together, we'll really start getting through that nitty gritty of what day to day will look like. So you'll have a really good sense of that. What else? What have I forgotten, Shelby?
I think we've covered it. The money, the logistics of healthcare, the hotel, food, breakfast is included. That is one meal that you don't have to worry about. And like Belinda said, there are certain meals throughout the itinerary that are included in the package. It's really just a handful of meals here and there, lunch, that might not be included, but those details will be spelled out again once you commit to the trip, and we can share the full itinerary and answer additional questions in future Zoom meetings.
Yeah, and so you'll see in the chat the link to the website with more information, and you can go there when you're on that site. You'll also be able to download the brochure with more information, and there's also a button that says ask questions, and like if you type that, push it, and ask a question, like we're going to learn about it. We're going to get back to you as quickly as possible with a response, as will our partners. So there are many outlets for you to continue to gather information. We're always accessible. You can drop something in this chat, even if you're watching on replay. We'll continue to monitor the comments so that we can be responsive to any questions that you have here. And we will probably continue to talk about this a bit on social media and on the podcast. So, you can continue to gather information there. But we really do want to impress upon you that after the 31st, the price is going to go up. So right now it's $5,700. That's a nice, we're just asking for your deposit. And then the price will be going up to $6,400 after July 31st. So I do want to encourage you to really sit down and think about what you want 2027 to be for you, what you want it to look like, how you want to start it. I think we chose this particular week very intentionally. There is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, the federal holiday does fall on that week. That's both symbolic, but also, I think, operationally very tactical. It can kind of give you an extra day that you don't have to ask for.
Exactly. That part.
So we see you.
Yes.
And but I have never regretted taking time for myself.
Exactly. I think it's something, when you think about the money piece, and the financial investment that is required for an experience like this, I've also never regretted investing in myself. And we recognize that, for some of you, this might be out of reach. Real talk, like this might not be the time for you, for any number of reasons. But for those of you where it is within reach, I really encourage you to think about, what are you spending your money on when it comes to getting your hair braided, or that designer handbag, or other things that you're spending your money on that only take you so far. This is something that we are putting together, as Belinda said, with intentionality, with purpose, that is going to continue paying dividends for you beyond the 5 or 6 days that we're going to spend together in Cape Town. It's really an opportunity to be in community with other people who are also not taking themselves seriously, but taking their lives and where they want to be seriously, in terms of being purposeful, in terms of starting 2027 off on the right foot, and really being purposeful in setting the tone for what next year is going to look like, and not just next year, but the next few years. For some of you, this may be a turning point and a pivot, that you've been waiting for, but you need a jump start, you need accountability partners, you need something that's going to push you to that next level. And I can tell you from personal experience, doing it by yourself, it's just not as impactful as it will be, in terms of doing it with others.
Yeah, I mean, I would just kind of, with on my end, with not to put judgment on it, but just when I have told myself that, well, if I just go to brunch, if I just go have a spa day over here locally with friends, if I just could get my nails done, then I won't feel so bad about the job I feel stuck in, the boss that is frustrating me, the whatever situation that's weighing on me. Um, and those things have never solved it.
Yeah.
It's when I take a risk, when I do the scary thing, when I take a chance on myself, that real change has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not telling you not to get your nails done. I mean, do you?
Absolutely.
But I just want to acknowledge that if it is within your means to do something even a step beyond that, I just feel like there's a lot of heaviness right now. There's a lot of weight on us, and the old ways are not going to get us to where we need to be. We need to do something different and bold. And I think that's what this trip is.
Yes, different and bold. So please consider joining us for Rooted and Rising in Cape Town. Again, as a reminder, the early bird pricing ends on July 31st. So please go to the website and sign up. Make sure you have that $1,800 deposit made, to book your seat. We really hope you will join us in Cape Town. This is something that we are looking forward to for many reasons, as we've said here, and as we will continue to say in our social media campaign about Rooted and Rising. We look forward to sipping wisdom and stirring success, as we say on the podcast. Anything else to add, Belinda?
I would say day pass information coming soon. Stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, everyone.